The only difference between a normal person and a supermodel is the development of their maxilla. It sounds nuts, it sounds crazy, but I transformed myself from this to this. I fixed my sleep apnea, aligned my asymmetry, straightened my crooked teeth, improved my overbite, widened my cheekbones, and grew my entire jaw and face upwards and forwards. And none of this would have been possible if I hadn't focused on developing the maxilla. And the crazy part is that this bone is mostly influenced by habits and environment, not by genetics. If your tongue sits on the roof of your mouth, if you have a proper swallowing pattern, if you have proper fascial tensioning, you will have the conditions for your maxilla to rotate counterclockwise, and when this happens, the rest of the bones in your face develop as a result. So here is exactly how you can become the healthiest, best looking version of yourself and develop your maxilla upwards and forwards. And I'm going to break it down in 2 simple steps. Firstly, by loosening the fascia/tension within your upper palate, and secondly, by fixing your body posture and tongue posture. And by the way, I have spent years researching and obsessing with all of this to the point where I interned at Myofunctional Institutes, and I'm even launching my own scientific research project with Dr. Mike Mew, the founder of Mewing himself. And if you want even more proof, here are a load of transformations to back this up to show that I at least somewhat know what I'm talking about. So without further ado, I'm not going to waste any more of your time. Let's get cracking. Firstly, you need to understand that everyone has a system of fascia that runs throughout your face. The scientific name for this is the SMAS, the superficial musculo-aponeurotic system, which sounds crazy complex, but you do not need to know what it is. All you need to realize is that there is tension stored throughout the entirety of your face that you need to release, particularly on your palate. Your palate is covered in these dense sheets of fascia, all of which, when your tongue doesn't sit on the roof of the mouth, when your head doesn't support your neck properly, when you used a pacifier as a baby and that acted as a barrier between your tongue and your palate, when you breathe through your mouth, all of these bad habits will lead to increased tension on the palate, which will prevent your maxilla from rotating into the position it was always meant to be. Because you remember, this bone is influenced by habits and environment even more so than it is by genetics. So you need to relieve the tension on the fascia in the palate. And if you do this, you'll mobilize the sutures, which are the joints that connect the bones in your skull. You will open up your lymphatic pathways, and again, you will create the conditions for your maxilla to then be driven forward by proper tongue posture and body posture, which I will explain in the second step. So in order to loosen the fascia on your palate, what you are going to do is firstly stand up against a wall. From here, you are going to tuck your chin as per usual. If you're familiar with the channel, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. And now what I want you to do is place your thumbs on the back part of the hard palate. Image should be on the screen. While tucking your chin, remember, keep your feet 6 inches forward, slightly off the wall to allow proper body posture. I want you to swipe your thumbs from the back part of the hard palate forward along the edges to the front of your palate. I want you to repeatedly do this over the course of a minute with 8 out of 10 intensity. You should feel this slight uncomfortable pain, and you're going to swipe from backwards to forwards. You're not going to swipe from the front to the back. That is a posterior motion, and that is providing the wrong signal to your proprioceptive feedback loop, which again is a whole video. I won't break it down too much right now and waste your time, but you're swiping from the back to the front, never from the front to your back. Your chin tucking, you're doing it with 8 out of 10 pressure, and you repeat it over the course of a minute. If you want to do it perfectly, you would repeat it throughout the day multiple times, at least 3 or 4 times. It will provide some instant relief, instant tension, and you should feel this slight uncomfortability within your jaw, within your TMJ joint, which is releasing this tension that has always been built up. Again, you may be thinking, why don't supermodels do this if they have well-developed maxillas? If you had perfect habits from birth, you would have equally distributed tension within your face. Your tongue would naturally rest against the roof of your mouth. Your body posture would naturally be a bit better. You would have chewed a bit better when you were younger. You would have developed the bones in a certain position. And as a result, because health is looks, you would look more attractive. No matter how old you are, you can always loosen the fascia, always open up the lymphatic pathways, activate the muscles, and loosen the sutures. And therefore, you create the conditions for you to develop everything upwards and forwards at any age. You're activating these fundamental inputs. You aren't becoming someone different. You are becoming the person you were always meant to be. And again, I say this because conviction in the mind is the fundamental part to actually achieving the physical results that you would like. You can look at all of these transformations, all of which are achieved by people in my private community, transforming their jaw, their cheekbones, their eyes, their nose, expanding their palate, and fixing literally everything, all of which are over the age of 25 years old. You can even see my own mum's transformation at the age of 58 years old. For even more proof, you have no excuses. And if you do want more information, if you do want more exercises, and you want some more personalized advice, plus the ability to actually speak with me directly in live calls, you're more than welcome to join the private community. The link is in the description, but let's get back into the second step, which is your body posture / tongue posture. You've loosened the fascia in your palate, and you've also understanding why you need to develop the maxilla upwards and forwards. Now you need to provide a stimulus, but firstly you need to remember that your lower back supports your upper back supports your neck supports your head. If your entire body is shifted out of alignment, if you have anterior pelvic tilt, if you have duck feet, if you have forward head posture, then it is impossible for your maxilla to develop in the right direction because your body isn't even holding itself upright. So first and foremost, you need to address your body posture. Check doing things like the Thomas test if you have lateral pelvic tilt or anterior pelvic tilt. Check if you have scoliosis and fix your body posture first and foremost. I'm going to break down in more in-depth videos in the future on all of these issues. I've already made one on anterior pelvic tilt. But before you even listen to what I'm about to say, you need to address your body posture. Now, when you have your body in check, you can focus on your tongue posture. This is fundamental, and all of you would have heard me harp on about it. And you maybe would have even seen my videos with the founder of Mewing himself, Dr. Mike Mew. But your tongue needs to be suctioned to the roof of your mouth 24/7. And what I'm about to say isn't some stereotypical advice, isn't just basic. This is something that you need to be doing every single day. And so what I would really recommend doing is forcing your mind to take over. This is something I really haven't spoken about enough, but if your habits haven't been ideal for many years, and then in order to recorrect your habits, of course you can retrain the muscles, but your mind needs to be king. You need to get used to the position because your body is always going to take the path of least resistance. And therefore, unless you're actually focusing on this, unless you're actually providing yourself a constant reminder in some way, shape or form, you're never going to adapt, you're never going to undo the habits, and you're never going to make having your tongue on the roof of your mouth the new path of least resistance. So first and foremost, if you don't know how to do a suction mew, here is a B-roll on the screen. Put your tongue on the T-spot, smile as wide as you can. From there, I want you to keep your neck straight and swallow multiple times until you have no spit left in the roof of your mouth. You will notice your tongue suctioned to your palate. But I want you to take this one step further. I want you to set alarms on your phone throughout the entirety of the day. We call these reticular activating system alarms. These will provide these little reminders to you to keep your tongue on the roof of the mouth throughout the entire day. And it's 100% the best tip I could recommend to anyone if you really want to fix your tongue posture. And remember, you can thumb pull, you can do everything if you're familiar with my content, but if your tongue is not staying on the roof of your mouth, and if you're not conscious of it, and if you do not take control of your mind, you will never get the results that you need. So set an alarm on your phone throughout the entirety of your day. I have one set for every hour. You don't need to be as crazy as me, but at the very least, once every 2 hours for the entirety of the day that you're waking. You should have at least 6 alarms. You can put some nice jazz music, or if you're crazy, bash some heavy metal, whatever you fancy. I do not judge, I swear. But put these alarms on once every 2 hours. The moment it goes off, perform the suction mew and let it remind you to keep your tongue on the roof of your mouth. And obviously this is general, this is vague. There are a lot more specific exercises. If someone has a tongue tie, if someone has an overbite, if someone has this or that, if you need any help with this, you can join the community. There are 100+ previous Q&A call recordings, all of which the notes have been uploaded for, where every single question you can possibly imagine has been answered by me speaking directly. But I think that's a brilliant start for everyone to take action. You loosen the palatal fascia, you learn how to suction mew properly, you remind yourself to do it throughout the day, you realize the root cause of the main difference between you now and you in the future is your maxilla, but you also remember body, mind, soul. Your mind has control over your body and you need to take action of that. Health is looks, go for it. You're all legends. Have an amazing day, and thank you very much for watching this video. Peace.